It's a 17-3 ball game. Florida leading Arkansas in the Southeastern Conference Championship game presented by Dr. Pepper from the Georgia Dome. Bob, let's take a look at the highlights in that first half as the Florida Gators didn't exactly blow them away. They scored first on a 32-yard touchdown reception of Chris Doering after Latourette had kicked a 36-yard field goal for Arkansas. Doering's catch makes it 7-3.
This was when everybody had their senses and everybody was fresh. A little down and out, single coverage all day. Single coverage on the outside receivers.
And here, Barry Lunney overthrows his receiver, and it goes right to the arms of Tico Brown.
And I really think it's the defensive lineman, Chester. 94 right there, jumps up, forces it high, and the interception is made.
Florida comes driving right back, and Wuerffel then sticks it in the end zone from a yard out. That makes the score 14-3. Bart Edmiston kicks a 31-yard field goal to make it 17-3, which is where we are at halftime.
I think when Arkansas is getting to Wuerffel, they're knocking him down, and I think he's battered and bruised. And I don't think, having been in that spot myself a few times, I don't think that he's real clear now on what blitzes they can pick up and what they can't. Now, what I expect Steve Spurrier to do in the second half is just keep a lot of guys in to protect us. I don't care how many they send, we can block them all, so don't worry about it, because you've got single coverage on the outside. They're knocking him down and knocking him down, and at this point, I'm sure they're not exactly sure where they're coming from.
Well, he never got his britches dirty in the first quarter, and then in the second quarter they took him down 9 times, I believe it was, and some of them hard. I mean, some of them with real authority.
I think Steve is just going to say we're going to go maximum protection. We got single coverage on the outside, and we're just going to do that. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. And
only in the game against Vanderbilt where the Gators held to just 17 points in the first half. Florida has the ball to start the second half with Riddell Anthony coming from the 4-yard line, finding a crack, getting around the corner to the 31, and there is a penalty flag off the field.
Ely took a block in the back on the return, 10 yards from the spot of the foul, first down.
So it's against the Gators, and here are the halftime numbers.
Here's a look at the numbers. Arkansas has actually had a little bit more, few more plays, and time of possession has been in their favor. They have had 2 turnovers. One of them led to a touchdown. The other didn't hurt them, but total yards in favor of Florida. And we don't have knockdowns on there, but the blitz is getting to Danny Wuerffel.
The penalty puts the ball back inside the 18-yard line. And Terry Jackson opens at the deep back. And they take him down short of the line of scrimmage, but there is a penalty flag on the near side, and it's going to have something to do with somebody's behavior along the neutral zone.
Defense, offsides, 5 yards, still first down.
That's why they were able to get to the ball carrier and knock him down short of the line of scrimmage. So the Gators do not go to a huddle. They come right up to the ball as it moves out to the 23-yard line, where it is now first down and 5. Hog show blitz. Conley coming, can't catch the man. It's Terry Jackson running the ball over the right side, and here's Lynn Swann.
Well, Keith, when I talked to Danny Ford, he said what I think we all expected him to say, the turnovers were the big key. But he tried to relay the message to his kids that we're only down by 14. Don't be impatient. We can run the ball. Steve Spurrier came out and said, second half, I think we've picked up all the blitz they've thrown at us. And he said he felt emotionally his team was in this ball game. But, Keith, I'll tell you, they were not the same team I saw last week down in Florida.
And that wasn't the same shirt that Steve had on the first half either. The blue shirt and the sweater. Maybe he put on his lucky orange.
Jackson went down very, very hard and getting up kind of gingerly as Stephen Conley took a whack at him, and Conley's all over the field.
Here's a look at our stories for Florida. Protect Danny Wuerffel. Arkansas with only 1 sack, but 8 knockdowns. And defensively, defensive line needs to dominate the line of scrimmage, and Florida's done that. 2 sacks.
Jackson got the first down out to the 29-yard line. Arkansas shows blitz. They send one backer. The ball is thrown outside by Hilliard. Hilliard getting some help out there. Gets across the 40, out to the 42, and another first down.
Quick passing for Florida. I think you're going to see a lot of it in the second half.
That'll give Wuerffel some relief.
Wuerffel was 15 of 22, one touchdown. Some good rushing. Jackson led the rushers, and Doering had 6 for 73 and a touchdown.
They pick up the blitz, go quickly to Riddell Anthony. He's across the 45. Down to the Arkansas 43. One of those linebackers got to stay home in that short zone.
5 possessions for Florida. They scored on their first 2, and they got a field goal on their 4th and missed the 5th one, but a lot of quick passing. 3-step drop, throw. Defensive leaders, Delco with 8 tackles, and Brown with 5.
Now, right about the time that Joe Lee wants to change his defense, they change up on him and send Jerome Evans in at fullback, line up Jackson deep, and give it to Jackson running up the pipe. Gets across the 40 to the 39. That's 4 yards, close to it. Just starting the second half. Florida leading 17-3 over Arkansas. Razorbacks 8-3 on the year, won the Western Division of the SEC. The Gators 11-0, ranked 2nd in the nation. And if they win this one tonight, they get a ticket to Tempe to the Fiesta Bowl.
It's hard for me to tell where those defensive guys are lined up. I'm trying to say which one are linemen, where are they lined up?
They're moving around, trying to create as much confusion as possible.
And they're doing it.
That ball intended for Ike Hilliard and well over his head and out of bounds.
Wuerffel sometimes checks off. Here's the wide receiver. He's going to go down and run a curl. Now watch as the ball is going to be thrown. Maximum protection. Only 2 receivers out, top and bottom. He expects him to break out. He runs a curl. That's the thing that blitzing schemes do to you. Joe Lee Dunn, the defensive coordinator, and Spurrier, you know, they make you look bad. When you burn them for big plays.
3rd down, Florida 2 out of 5 on 3rd down plays. And he's 3rd down and short there because Doering broke the signal and was on his way down the field before the ball was snapped. So that'll back him up 5. And it'll make it 3rd
Before the ball
down.
was snapped, false start on the offense, still 3rd down.
3rd down, about 11.
This defense can drive you nuts, Keith. They were the 4th best defense in the SEC. They were 1st against the run. They led the conference in takeaways with 28. So they're a feisty group. They know they have to attack because individually they're not that great.
Here they come. And it's thrown to Riddell Anthony on the sideline, and he is down at about the 38-yard line. You know, they've doubled up on Conley. They're trying to control him.
Well, quick passing and maximum protection. Arkansas is not double covering any receivers in the secondary. There's man coverage in the secondary. The problem for the Gators is they either have to throw quickly or they don't have time to wait for the receiver.
Gators are going on 4th down and the long 4. Jackson deep back, Hilliard at the bottom of the picture.
They punt this, Keith.
Wuerffel says, wait a minute.
He may try to pull him off. I think Steve may have tried to pull him off. He tried to pull him off sides by having the quarterback move back into punt formation or into the shotgun formation. The key there is you can't put your hands underneath the center. You stand up there.
Looks like Danny must have taken a helmet under the face guard. Bandage on his chin. That's the mark of the quarterback, having been in combat. You're the only man I know that doesn't have one. Robbie Stevenson knocks it way into the end zone. It'll come out to the 20, and Arkansas defense does its job. First down home at the 20.
we said for Arkansas, Lunny needs a career day. He's not had that yet. No touchdowns, no points, an interception. And defense limit the big plays and create turnovers. They've limited the big plays, but they have not created the turnovers. And I believe that Arkansas, to win this game, is going to need some help from their defense in getting turnovers.
All right, Lunny sets him up with Marius Johnson. Montre Hill, injured knee. He's not in there. J.J. Metters makes the catch for the little man. The little big man gets it out to the 31-yard line.
He's saying to right, let me go, let me go.
Oh, he is quick, though. I'll tell you, he's quick. Fire in his eyes.
A single coverage on the outside. Just a little stop route. Go to him quick and let him run. He only averages 9.3 yards per catch. Like Wright pulling him out of bounds.
You could put that temperament and that spirit inside a 250-pound body. Holy smoke, that might happen.
Bottle that.
This is Johnson. Brings it up. Got 3. I mean, he got whacked by Dexter Daniels and David Barnard. Barnard is 290, Daniels 231, and Johnson returns the corner at 175.
Offensively for the Razorbacks, 20, 1 interception, 95 yards. Johnson rushing with 41. Not a lot of offensive stats. Eubanks led him with 4 receptions. Metters had 3, but the Florida defense has pretty much shut this offense down.
There either. Johnson got across the line of scrimmage, and Ben Hanks got hold of it.
Basically had 6 possessions. The first was by far the best. They only got a field goal out of it. Missed the field goal in the 3rd possession, and the last one there was just a really the offense. Tell you what they do. They are 10th in passing. Total offense, they're 8th. They're not real good in the offensive category, except rushing their 5th, averaging 155 yards a game.
3 wideouts, top of the screen. Lunny gets it away, and the pass is incomplete. Eubanks could not make the catch. I still think Lunny's got to start looking for more wide people, because basically it's been Metters and Eubanks. Gonna have to punt it here.
And there's Kresser warming up, but I don't think he's warming. Who's he playing catch with? Well, it's not Werfel. Well, when they got the cap on, they're just fooling around a little bit over there. They're just kind of warming up for themselves.
Matt waits in the punt.
It wasn't a serious warm-up.
First punt tonight was 31 yards up the high spinner, and Riddell Anthony comes up after making a fair catch ball and takes it out of bounds at about the 34-yard line. The SEC Championship, presented by Dr. Pepper on ABC Sports, brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. And Dean Witter, there are many ways to measure success. Dean Witter measures success one investor at a time. First down, Florida, their own 34, and they lead 17-3 with 9:46 to play in the 3rd quarter. One man backs out of the defensive front, another man steps in, and here they come. Werfel gets his ball away down the middle, beautifully thrown to Ike Hilliard. Hilliard is down to the Arkansas 30. Danny Werfel, 3,237 passing yards now.
Receiver on this side is going to clear it out, and the receiver on the other side just will square in. Going to stretch it vertically, throw it deep. The back checks down. He throws it over the back's head. Hit on a square in and let him come out the other side. Nice catch by Hilliard.
That's a new single-season record for passing yards at Florida. First down, Jackson. Gains 1. Tomorrow night, after an hour of America's Funniest Home Videos, Bye Bye Birdie. Jason Alexander, Vanessa Williams, China Phillips, George Wendt, Tyne Daly, all together. New world premiere movie event, Bye Bye Birdie. Tomorrow at 7 Central and 8 Eastern and Pacific, right after the video on ABC. Second and 9. Werfel to the end zone. Hilliard, touchdown.
Sooner or later, we'll get them. Steve Spurrier looks at Danny Werfel. He says, they can blitz, they can blitz. If we get the right play called at the right time, we'll pick up the blitz and we'll hit them.
Edmiston for the extra point. It's good. It goes to 24-3 and 8 minutes and 26 seconds to play in the third quarter.
All right, here you go. Another blitz coming right here. And when you blitz, there's nobody in the center of the field. Your top receiver's going to come out here, run straight down the middle of the field, little post on an inside route. Good protection. He's got time to throw it. Gets it over the top. When you can block the blitz, you got big things that can happen. From the goalpost cam, the linebackers are blitzing. Good pass protection. That's Young. Mitchell goes into the wide receiver. Just good execution. If you get time to throw, the defensive backs for Arkansas cannot stay with the wide receivers. Hilliard, Doring,
Dave
Anthony.
Bertrand's worn out 2 pins tonight writing down records. Matt Teague will kick it off for the Gators now as they begin to assume more and more control.
Florida doesn't take long to score. I don't think normally, but when you blitz, you create a lot of holes in the secondary.
That's hooked a bit, yard deep in the end zone. JJ didn't step on the line. He's going to get it out to the 20. Oh, it came out. Don't do it. Touch it. Now, all these numbers we've been reading you all night about Danny Werfel's records and the Gator records and all of this stuff. Keep in mind that Ike Hilliard's only a sophomore, and there's a whole lot of young'uns running around up there. Danny Werfel is only a junior.
Right, Werfel, the leader of all of them, will be back. Padre Hill on the sideline.
He's only a sophomore, too. Lunny's pass is swung out to the outside, and it is blocked by Dexter Hebert, a sophomore from Beaumont, Texas.
And all these stats we've been accumulating, this game, the SEC championship game, is counted in the stats. Whereas the bowl games are not.
Lunny running this way. He's pretty good because he's left-handed, and the pass is completed up at the 31-yard line for a first down. New affiliate to the ABC television network in Memphis, WPTY Memphis 24. We're mighty happy to be in a new home in western Tennessee and eastern Arkansas as of today. So if you want, you can take a portable and go over, sit on the banks of the Mississippi and watch. Marius Johnson, deep man. Lunny's got some daylight in front of him, and he puts a pretty good move on Fred Weary. Weary had him in his sights and figured, I want to get me a piece of him, but he didn't. Somebody else did. Well, that turned out to be big old David Carter.
The difference in the Gators playing this team and Barry Lunney and last week against Florida State is Danny Cannell never ran from when he dropped back to pass, and Lunney will take off and run. So you got a mobile quarterback that can run around on you.
He gained 8 yards at 2nd down and 2, 7.5 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. And the Gators on top 24-3. Issy Johnson, and he found a little daylight, and he's got a 1st down at the 45. Arkansas's got to put the ball in the end zone now.
They've got to get some points in the end zone, and the Gator defense played well last week against FSU, only allowing that potent offense of Florida State 2 touchdowns, and as a shutout going here tonight as far as touchdowns are concerned.
Johnson 12 carries, 53 yards in the game. And that's a little quick pop back with J.J. Metters and watch him take off. Oh, can he burn it? Woo.
Where'd he go?
Smell the rubber all the way up here.
Weary, I think it's Weary 24. Watch Weary on the left side of the screen. He reads it all the way. I'm coming up. I'll make this play. All right, I got him. I got him. Where'd he go?
Lenny,
what do you think about a small receiver like that?
I'll tell you, he's fast. He's about 4'3", and I asked him, does he have problems when he gets on the field playing against these big guys? He says they always talk to him, call him Peanut. Sometimes walk up to him and say, hey, does your mother know you're out here playing football? But he says he goes out and shows him he belongs every play, every game. Keith?
I agree. Love to watch it. This is a little pitch out to Johnson, the running back, and he dances away from 1, gets away from 2, and gets himself about 8 yards, 7 yards. So now the Razorbacks are down at the Florida 32-yard line.
Barry Lunney is the son of a high school football coach. Usually when it's that combination, you get a very smart, competitive guy that wants to go out and really lead your team, and that's what they got right here in Barry Lunney.
Johnson has the 1st down. 26-yard line. And the Razorbacks showing a little grit here in the 3rd quarter at the 6:11 to play mark. Speaking of grit, that old boy right there's got some. I guarantee you.
He was 12 years at Clemson, out coaching for 3 years, and what he brings to this program is first of all confidence, and secondly knows how to win.
He was funny yesterday at the SEC lunch. Got a man wide open. Johnson to the goal line, but he hit the chalk at the 2. Out of bounds at the 2-yard line, and there's a penalty flag down there in the end zone.
It's the first trick play. It's a fake reverse. Then he's going to dump it to the back.
Well, if they lose him, they're out of tailbacks.
Number 22 there is going to end up getting the ball as he just fakes the run, fakes the reverse, and then Johnson slides out. The pass is lobbed to him.
Against the offense, it's enforced 10 yards from the end of the run. Still picked up a 1st down. It'll be 1st and 10.
So they lose their 1st and goal circumstance.
That's a tough call there.
Yep, down at the 2.
Danny Ford, he's asking who did it. It was the receiver from the other side that came and was trying to help. Actually, the block didn't make any difference. But a push in the back.
So they're going to put the football down at the 12, where it'll be 1st down for the Razorbacks. Marius Johnson got roughed up a bit on that last carry. The run at the end of the reception. Lunny throws it. Metters got it. JJ's out of bounds at the 8. Anton Lott had a hold of it.
Yeah, Lott's all over the place. Lunny's moving to his left and throwing a lot, but that penalty, Keith, was Lott is down. But that penalty really set them back. I mean, you know they were going to get in from the 1-yard line. You don't know that they're going to get in when you move it back outside the 10.
It's closer to the 7, and that's what we'll call it. Second down. And 6 from the 7.
You got single coverage.
Timeout.
Yeah.
Didn't like something. So rather than waste the play, he calls timeout. Be better off if you take the young'uns and let them do it.
I just watched them. Current drive. Good one for Arkansas. That reminds me of what they do with the NFL. It's very similar.
Patterned effort.
Yeah. And it's very good idea. Very worthwhile.
Second down and 6. Lunny pitches to Johnson, trying to get around the corner. Got away from 1, from 2, and he's out of bounds. And he's out of bounds hard. Underneath a couple of Gators. And where do they mark him? At the 3-yard line. He got more out of that than I thought was possible.
He did. He just kept going to the sideline, and every defensive player for the Gators was over there by the time it was over with.
It's 3rd and 1. Now 1.5. If you want to nitpick it.
Well, if you're calling the plays here, you've got 2 plays to pick this up, because there's no question that you go for it on 4th down.
Breeze ain't going to help here. That's Johnson. I don't know. Johnny Church had penetrated, and Johnny just missed it. Going to be 4th down, looks like. It is. But 4th and how much? About a half a yard. Gut check time. Both sides of the ball.
Now you just run your best play, and you may see the same play again.
Option. Lunny. Intercepted on the pitch by Ben Hanks, who's on his way for a touchdown. That could be a will breaker.
You say that's a door closer?
Get all your fingers in your pocket. Boy, I'm telling you, it's just a crusher. Bart Edmiston. Good. Ben Hanks had been hanging around, penetrating all night long. He had something like 9 or 10 tackles in the first half. He was sure in the right place at the right time for this one.
Well, here's Hanks out here. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Run the telestrator. He's coming down the line. Hanks is hanging on, hanging on. Let's stop it right here. Here's Hanks. Look at him. He sees what's going on. He sees him trying to make a play. And one-handed grabs the ball out of the air. Tell you, big players make big plays in big games. The 5th-year senior, captain. Spurrier got the number out of retirement, so Ben Hanks could Could wear it. Here's another look at it on the end of the line, number 11. 4th down. Lunny's trying to make something happen. He can't do it himself, so at last desperate effort, he pitches it.
The man who penetrated and got a hold of Lunny was Ed Chester. So he's really the guy that started the whole sequence. It was 4th and goal with a half a yard needed for a 1st down, and they couldn't do it. As Ed Chester got a hold of the quarterback, and the rest of it you saw. And to further surround Ben Hanks, he's a perfect example of athletics, helping a young man find a whole life. Ball goes out of bounds. They can take it out at the 35.
Watch Lunny. Let's see if his knee is down before he pitches it. There's his knee. Yeah, he's down.
Too late.
That's right. It's in the books. It's a great play by Hanks.
So it'll be Arkansas 1st down at their own 35-yard line with 4 minutes and 25 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. And it's now 31-3 Gators. Corey Nichols will be the tailback.
Hey, Bob Greasy, you know, those linebackers used to getting in there, sticking their heads in there, making all that contact, going from side to side, but you know, they're not in great shape to go the length of the field. That's why Hanks, I think, is still on the sideline.
Yeah, he said,
he needs a breather.
I can't go right back out there, Coach. He's part of the fiber that makes up the character of that defense.
Whistles before the snap. That usually means an offensive
Before the
mistake.
ball snap, movement by the offensive line, 5 yards. Still 1st down.
Concentration starting to crack now. This Florida's best starting point of the game for a possession, the 35-yard line. But they just lost 5 of it as an offensive lineman moved.
Do you think old Tom Osborne and the Nebraska Huskers are learning anything from this one, Keith?
Tom probably went back to his evening paper on that play.
Yeah.
This is Corey Nichols. Right ahead for a couple of yards. This week on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football, battle in the NFC Central, Chicago Bears in Detroit. And Lions beat them 2 weeks ago. Bears would like to even it up. They'll have at it in the Silverdome Monday at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. Here on ABC.
They were about run the coach out of town there a couple of weeks ago. Now they're on a roll.
Well, yeah.
Barry Sanders.
Bill Ford apparently told Wayne, no, you better win.
They've got some offensive players on that team.
This is Corey Nichols. And he gets it up to the 40 or close to it. Mike Peterson making the play. He's a redshirt freshman from Alachua, Florida. Is that the county seat of Alachua County?
I guess it is.
That's where Gainesville and the university is located, in Alachua County, right?
There you go. That's it.
3rd down and 6. Lunny intercepted by Demetric Jackson. He was looking for his tight end. And Jackson was in the right place at the right time.
Well, he's trying to throw it to his tight end, Keith. Here's his tight end. His tight end is going to get over the middle. The man that intercepts it's right in the center of the field. Now, Baker has only caught 1 ball coming into this ball game, and when you only throw it to him that infrequently, you're not going to know where he's going. He expected him to keep going. He stopped, and that's why the ball was intercepted.
And Elijah Williams checks back into the game as the Gators go to work just inside the Razorback 35. And it's Williams. And he's inside the 25, and it's a 1st down.
Well, we said turnovers was going to be the story, and Arkansas needed the turnovers, and it's been just the opposite. It's too tall a hill to climb for them anyway. They needed the turnovers, and they didn't get them, and it's just everything's going wrong for them. What a great year they've had, though, Keith. They beat Arkansas, they beat Auburn, and they beat Alabama in the same year. Played Tennessee tough.
This is Williams again. You know, Terry Bowden's been with us all day, and I didn't get much of a chance to visit with him, but I'll guarantee you one thing. If you're going to be sitting down here in the Eastern Division of the Southeastern Conference, you're going to be playing Tennessee and Florida and Auburn and Georgia and South Carolina every year. You're going to get pretty knobby some years.
Yep.
And you're going to find it very difficult to go through this conference undefeated. It's rare.
I thought the Southeastern Conference was probably the toughest conference going this year.
Probably was. Inside the 15, down to about the 14.
Here's a shot at Terry. He's really done a nice job. Auburn.
He's just starting.
You know, I mentioned earlier, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, does it?
Nope.
We're talking he'd sound so much like his daddy, Bobby, and he's just as good a coach. And I'm sure with the years he's going to be just as experienced and have just the same amount of success as Bobby.
One old truth still remains, however, and you're watching it. You can't coach foot speed. You can only aim it. Tell it where to go. Ball comes flying out, but it's long since dead as the play had been whistled. Gators trying to punch it in again, and they're going to move the chains and have a first down around the 12-yard line.
But Arkansas had a good year. 8-3 coming in. A couple of big wins. You know, if were it not for a couple other teams, you know, you would attach maybe the team of the year, Cinderella team,
yeah,
maybe to Arkansas.
Sure, absolutely. But Northwestern got there first with it, being in the media center up in Chicago or in Evanston.
Yep.
And the Big Ten, that story caught on, and Arkansas was pretty quiet. This is Williams bouncing outside and down hard at about the 1-yard line. Number 4 took him down. Marcus Campbell took his legs away. Well, that's going to be another first down. First and goal for Florida from about the 1-yard line.
Steve's troops have been healthy pretty much all year. If he's had one area that's had some injuries, it's been that tailback position. And he's got 3 of them that he's used. Elijah Williams and Terry Jackson have done most of the work tonight.
They're going to go the other way and let the clock run out. And at the end of the 3rd quarter, it's 31-3. And we'll be back after this message and a word from our ABC station. That's the city of Atlanta. Sparkling clear day today, and the temperature got up almost to 70, I believe. The ball is just short of the 1-yard marker. It is first down and goal to go for the Florida Gators with Elijah Williams and Jerome Evans lined up in the backfield. Werfel keeps it, and he didn't go anywhere. I mean, it didn't hardly move in front of him. Delco came over the top trying to get a piece of him, but not much in that encounter.
The numbers after 3 quarters, no one that jumps out at me. Turnovers, 4 for Arkansas, led to 14 points. Passing yards, big for Florida, 380 total yards through 3 quarters. They average over 550 yards per game.
Second down and goal. Williams hit behind the line of scrimmage. And it's Conley who does the damage. Stephen Conley, number 94. Brother of Mike Conley, who's an assistant track coach, the long jumper and triple jumper, world class, great athlete. And Stephen ain't bad.
Fifth-year senior who is very quick. They have a chance to play on Sundays next year.
Third and goal, and they're back on the 4. Probably throw it here. Nope, they go back to Williams. And they got him again. Well, the Razorback defense has not given up.
Well, their defense led the conference in rushing defense this year. They get kind of stingy when they get backed up to their own, well, I guess their home pen, huh? Cuts inside. Just too many red shirts. Or Cardinal, I guess you call it Cardinal.
Edmiston is in for the field goal try. The ball will be put down on the 10, so it'll be a 20-yard kick. He made one from 31, wide right on 32, and from 20 down the highway. 34-3, the Florida Gators lead. 12:48 to go in the game. 12:48 to play in the championship game, and Florida will kick it away. Matt Teague will hit it, and Terry Bowden has just come in to join us. And since we're paying him all that money, we thought we'd wear him out.
Yeah, well, yeah, the Gator fans have seen me here and have given me a nice ovation for having lost, me and my father having lost to the Gators. They're kind of
ask you what the Arkansas should do now.
Yeah, Arkansas should just kind of hang on to that ball as long as they can. Hope this thing don't get ugly. But I tell you, Arkansas played a great game. You talk about a couple of plays. They could have had this game real close.
Turnovers.
That's turnovers, and I think Florida probably played a business-like game, not an emotional. Oh,
my goodness. I mean, that was wicked. Carlton Pouncey.
Ron Zook,
hit it.
Ron Zook's got to be pleased with his troops. Special teams coach from the goalpost cam right here.
That was Chris.
Avoid the white shirts.
That was Chris Atkins, who is a cornerback, who probably got up and once he collected his senses says, I ain't never going out there again.
Ron Zook.
Well, he was the defensive coordinator.
Yes, he was.
Before Bobby Foote came in. Corey Nichols, the Razorback tailback now. Madre Hill hurt early in the ball game and has not been able to return. And Nichols, who is a 198-pound freshman out of Little Rock, got a little size at the position. We got a lot of running backs around the country, Terry, that square. You know, I mean, wide guys that weigh 210 pounds.
I think you're seeing so many, the 5'10", 5'9", 200 pounds. They're low center of gravity, not a big target to hit. You don't see the classic high back anymore because these guys can run, but they also get out quickly and catch that football in the flats.
And hard to find sometimes behind those big old linemen, too.
I guarantee they can hide well, and Madre Hill and his injury may be the one thing that Arkansas had a chance to be in this game and lost him early.
Nichols moved the change here for the Razorbacks as he picks up the first down. Ben Hanks having a big night.
I tell you, I'll be glad when he graduates. He has been a terror in this conference for so long. It's like I'm getting tired of seeing on number 11. Everybody in this conference has seen too much of Ben Hanks.
He's got his degree. He's working on his master's now. That's a carry for a couple of yards by Corey Nichols again. And I think what they're doing is probably the right thing to do. Just go on and kill the clock and don't let them get into the 50, 60, 70 point range.
That's right. Arkansas's had a marvelous year. They have distinguished themselves in a conference where it's very hard to do that. Won our division, knocked us off in Alabama in our state as well as most everybody else in our division, and deserve so much credit that you're right. They don't need to get into a game where something does not bring credit to the great year they've had.
We were just talking about that a while ago. When you go through a lineup that includes Florida, Tennessee, Georgia, South Carolina, you've had a busy year if you can make it through there undefeated. Marius Johnson is back at the tailback position again. for Arkansas and gets about 6 yards on the carry.
Terry, what do you think? Have you seen Nebraska this year?
Yeah, I saw in the last couple of games, you know, as the scores came in all year, it looked like they were unbeatable. But the last couple of games, they looked at least real. They still looked like a championship contender, but they didn't look like they weren't a real team. It's going to be a great matchup now because two different styles that neither see very much.
Right. Option versus wide open passing. Huh?
4 wide out, vertical passing game, and the option.
Hammers into the middle. Penalty flag goes down, so Al Ford has a decision to make, probably face mask. While we wait for it, let me tell you tomorrow.
15-yard face mask on the defense. Tackle
Ooh, big one, 15 yards. Tomorrow at 2:30 Eastern, 1:30 Central and Pacific. The first of 2 golf events here on ABC Sports. Jack Nicklaus, Tom Watson at Pebble Beach, where they once had one of their greatest battles. Shell's Wonderful World of Golf. Then the stars of men's and ladies. J.C. Penney Classic. Davis Love and Beth Daniel tied with Jay Delsing and Val Skinner for the lead in that one at 19 under. The Nebraska defensive front of the Peter brothers, Tomich and Wistrom. I mean, that's pretty good.
I think Nebraska probably, when you look at these teams, both teams prolific on offense, if not in different ways. But Nebraska does have a little bit stronger defense. Scoring defense, I think about 13, 14 points a game. Florida, 16, 17 points a game. That hasn't been what championship teams have had. But the Florida defense has picked up against the last few games and been really a championship caliber defense the last few games of the season.
I thought the Seminoles were hurt sharply last week when they lost Shiver, the center.
They really did. I mean, it's like a Montre Hill. When you lose a key player, you don't know how much that affects just the core of the strength of the leadership of your front. And in that, and then the way Florida was playing defensively and the way they played the last few years, nothing was quite good enough that day for Florida State.
Second down, 11. And Lunny goes down right at midfield. That's where the line of scrimmage is.
How about Steve Spurrier? He's done pretty well since he's been in the conference. What, 6 years? He's finished first 5 of the 6 years that he's been in the conference. And before he came to Florida, they had never won an SEC title.
I think, you know, you hate to say it, but you got to give him credit. He's teaching us all a little lesson about you win it with the defense and offense. But I've known the lesson. He's just showing us a little better how to do it. You know?
He says we'll outscore you first, and then then our defense will get a little bit better.
Well, what it is, everybody in the conference says we're going to stop the run and be a great rush defense. And they say, okay, we're going to throw it every down. And it makes them great, and kind of turning everybody upside down.
I think Steve's attitude is that he knows how to pass, and he's going to have a passing offense, and teams aren't going to know how to stop the pass.
That's right.
And if he can force you to pass, then he's going to have the advantage. You'll make it a passing game.
Well, I mean, that's right. Right now, the 4 wide out passing game is ahead of the defenses down in the south. The I formation is behind the defenses a little bit, and so that puts him up ahead, and that's why he's ahead right now in the conference.
Matt Wade is in to punt, the sophomore out of Hot Springs, and Riddell Anthony goes back to receive it. Got it out. This one he got the turnover. That's a little better kick, and it goes on into the end zone. Going to come out to the 20, and you've got 8 minutes and 42 seconds to play in the game. Well, the Gators continue to put marks in the record book. They've now won 11 consecutive games, tying a school record. And this makes them 12-0 on the year as they go home and start thinking about how they're going to handle Arizona. Don't get a sunburn and all that kind of stuff. First down from the 20-yard line. The gain is about 4 yards, and the Thrifty Car Rental post-game report. If time permits, stay tuned for the report featuring scores and highlights from around the country, and we'll get a cart and run Perry Bowden back down to the other studio where he spent the day with John Saunders.
Had a great time with everybody today. Hope I don't have to come back and do this with y'all again next year. And
You could be
these
here,
two teams on the field make me do this again. They'll have somebody else at Auburn, I think.
Terry, of course, is the head coach of the Auburn Tigers and had a wonderful year last year. And you had to season and groom some young'uns this year, didn't you?
Well, we sure did. We had put 3 starts of true freshmen, and not enough to beat these teams. And you can't play too many young freshmen in this league and be here in the championship game.
What do you think, Coach? Should Steve get Werfel out of the game? Got it won?
Well, he's got it won. I don't know. I make a habit never to second-guess Coach Spurrier when it comes to his quarterbacks, because nobody's going to outguess him on that. But he could do it. It's not going to make a difference whether Werfel's in right now or not. But
it's just a matter of injury. But
that's right.
He probably won't be throwing too many passes.
No, it probably wouldn't hurt to put Kessler in now.
All right, let me ask you guys a question. Cinderella team, best story of the year. Who's the Cinderella team?
Well, I think
Northwestern.
Got to be. Huh?
I mean, everybody's. I mean, there's no secrets on Florida.
Yeah. Coach of the year.
I mean, Northwestern, I mean, Spurrier does this about every year.
Yeah.
You know, I hate to say it.
There's a lot of candidates, but Gary Barnett at Northwestern is...
It's funny. They used to say, well, they're nothing but academics and proud of it. They were awful proud this year to be a winning team.
Let me ask you a question. Northwestern this year, Stanford had a good year. Duke last year. Some of the Kansas and Kansas State, the have-nots have recently...
LSU's coming, too.
LSU's coming.
The scholarships, I think scholarships have evened it out.
I feel like a lawyer. I know the answer before I answer the question.
When you make that playing field a little more level with the numbers,
yeah,
it can happen.
Robbie Stevenson is in to punt now. Time remaining is 6:37. The crowd tonight of 71,325, a sellout, is testimony, I think, though, to the appetite that the Florida football fans have for their team, because they gobbled up every ticket that was available, anywhere from anybody. And that ball's finally going to roll dead down to the 34-yard line. 34-3, Gators. The SEC Championship presented by Dr. Pepper on ABC Sports, brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper is just what the doctor ordered. Microsoft. Where do you want to go today? Russell Athletic, for really tough athletic wear that can survive anything. Get Russell Athletic, get tough. And Burger King, where you can get your burgers worth. Arkansas ball, 34-yard line, and Pete Burks, a freshman out of Houma, Louisiana, is in at quarterback. So Barry Lunny is done for the day, apparently. He pitches the ball to Marius Johnson, and no place to go except down at the line of scrimmage. Well, the Auburn Tigers and Coach Terry Bowden, we've had him with us today, and I'm terribly fond, of course. I grew up down this part of the country, you know, and then a long time ago got acquainted with the Auburn Tigers. But the stadium remains packed.
It's a beautiful place to play football. Auburn, one of the few major universities in a small town, 15,000 people. I always said I wanted to coach in a place where the stadium was the biggest building in town, and I'm finally in one. And the Auburn-Alabama game this year, I think, was shown nationally on TV, and I think the nation got to see one of the... It's just a great place to go back and experience college football in an area of the country where there's not any interest but football. It really is no basketball or baseball or pro sports in the state of Alabama. Football, and because of Bear Bryant, Schuchard, and those, the likes of those, it's just so big.
And, of course, the University of Florida.
Oh.
I mean, it's stuffed. And
well, the state of Florida is just, the excellence in football is just unbelievable.
Without question, the loudest stadium, I believe, in the country. I mean, the decibel count there is just overwhelming, and it really becomes kind of a 12-man club.
It really has. That's one thing I didn't realize before I got into a conference like this, see how much the home field advantage meant. And it's the crowd noise in Florida with the acoustics.
There's a penalty flag on the last play.
Best young player you've seen, Bobby, Terry?
Boy, you catch me off guard.
I mean, in your conference.
I'm trying to think the best young one. You talking about true freshman?
Well, freshman or sophomore.
Well, the quarterback at Tennessee is by far. I mean, Patrick. You know, it's hard to think of him as a young one.
That's who I was thinking about.
Well, you know, I don't think of him as young anymore. He's like a 2-year veteran.
I've never seen anybody come on as fast as Peyton Manning and make the strides that he made from last year to this year.
As a quarterback, the intelligence, the presence that he has, and the things that he's doing it baffles me, because they have a very sophisticated offensive scheme in reading and adjusting, side adjustments and checkoffs. Amazing job. He is one of the one of the great jobs.
Guess what? You and John are going to have a post-game show.
We're going to go over. Well, I'll tell you, I enjoyed being with y'all so much.
Thank you, Terry.
Good to see you down, Bob.
Terry, good to see you. Good luck to you.
Bye-bye. Fourth down as the Razorbacks punt it. Goes high, goes short. Depends on how it bounces, and it bounces straight up. And it's finally put down at the 49-yard line on the Florida side of the field. And here's Lynn Swann.
Well, Keith, just a reminder for those who may not have been watching the game earlier that this great championship series that we show on ABC Sports will continue. On December 7th, the SEC championship game will be back, presented by Dr. Pepper, and in addition to the Big 12 championship presented by Dr. Pepper. And it's going to be a great Saturday come December 7th, 1996, and I'll be right here at your side, Keith.
All right. That's going to eventuate, I think, into a terrific conference. Eric Kresser, Jr., had his one start against Northern Illinois, and you see what he did.
Not a bad day.
Ernie Dubose, fullback, is in there now, and Steve Spurrier's taking him off the bench, getting everybody into a taste of championship game action. At 4 minutes and 35 seconds to play, and 37 seconds to play, and there's a face mask call coming up right here. Everybody getting a little tired, getting a little frustrated. But this issue has been resolved.
It's been a good year, partner.
Incidental face
Yes, it
mask
has.
against the defense, 5 yards, still first down.
We've lost some things. We've lost the Southwest Conference.
Yeah, it's kind of sad to me because there were some great players that came out of there. Great teams. Darrell Royal had a wonderful run down there at the University of Texas.
Earl Campbell, I remember Earl Campbell running.
Yep. Well, I go on back to Sammy and Davey O'Brien and
Yep.
Abe Martin and Dutch Meyer
Yep.
and those guys, and Matty Bell over at SMU, and the Doak Walkers and the Kyle Rotes and those people. I mean, they're great football players came out of the Southwest Conference, and now it's gone. And it's too bad.
We got a national championship game. The Alliance is going to work, at least for this year. Miami and Alabama are on probation. Two of the teams that have won championships in the last 5 years at least. And Northwestern in the Rose Bowl. Was it 47 years since they've been in the bowl game?
When it resolved itself and turned in that Northwestern was coming to the Rose Bowl, I immediately went out and drove all the stakes a little deeper in my mouth. I mean, that's news, boy. Here's Lynn Swann.
Well, Keith, I'm with Mike Conley. He is the older brother of Steve Conley, who's playing for the Arkansas Razorbacks. Now, I know you won the gold in '92. Question mark in '96, you're going for it?
Of course, I'm training hard right now for '96, and there's nothing I would love most is to win a gold medal here in my country.
Now, your brother came to Arkansas to run track, and I was told you talked him into going out for football.
Yeah, I always thought he'd be best at football. You know, he tried to run track, he tried to play basketball for a while too, but football is a sport.
Why football? What did you see in your brother that he didn't see in himself initially?
He had hurt people on the basketball court. And if you ask Nolan Richardson was glad to get rid of him because he was hurting the players. So football is where he belongs.
Now, while you're training in Arkansas, you're also helping the kids down there?
Yeah, I'm a volunteer coach at the University of Arkansas, and we've had great success in our track program, and we'll keep it going.
All right. Good luck to you in 1996.
Thanks.
All right. Keith?
Well, he's fun to watch.
Yeah, he is, isn't he?
He's a great athlete. Penalties going against the Razorbacks. 7 tackles, but that doesn't define the role he's played. He's been a force, and they had to take 2 men sometimes to control him.
No question. He's had 20 career sacks, and he is the main man on that defense.
Eric Kresser. Riddell Anthony with a catch. Kresser is a good-looking quarterback. He's a junior, along with Werfel, so he's still sitting behind Danny. College basketball next Saturday here on ABC Sports. Villanova, Purdue, or Florida State and DePaul. And so it begins.
Yep.
Then we have the Diners Club matches. Artie, Jack. That's next Saturday at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific time. You realize how much money these golfers are playing for and making in November and December?
More than they make during the regular tour.
Oh, my gosh. Ernie Dubose with that carry.
We've seen, Keith, of the players that we've seen this year, or the players we've seen either in person or on TV, give me your player of the year.
My player of the year?
Player of the year. I'll tell you who mine is. I mean, I'm thinking about Tommy Frazier, I'm thinking about Eddie George, and I'm thinking about Danny Werfel. And my player of the year, I picked Danny Werfel.
Well, I would vote Tommy Frazier. In that context, I'll tell you why after this run by Dubose. Danny Werfel is an extension of Steve Spurrier. He is the most poised, disciplined young man I think I've ever seen play that position, but yet everything is directed to him. And I think it'd be kind of fun to see old Danny just go out there and do it alone. But
and those two
Steve Spurrier's
players,
philosophy is omnipresent on the ball field.
those two players will be in the championship game. Danny Werfel could not play in Tom Osborne's offense, and Tommy Frazier would not be recruited by Steve Spurrier in his offense. So it's two different systems and two different styles.
The genuine Chevrolet most valuable players of tonight's SEC championship game, brought to you by Dr. Pepper, are Danny Werfel from the University of Florida, whose record book is becoming so prolific. And Stephen Conley of Arkansas. Conley tonight had 7 tackles and was a force. Werfel had 20 out of 28 for 276 yards and 2 touchdowns. And in celebrating its 25th year of NCAA sponsorship, Chevrolet donating $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for academic achievements. Penalty flag on that play.
Mentioned that Brian Schottenheimer in at quarterback.
That's Marty Schottenheimer's son.
Yes,
so
yes.
There's the man who's been the guiding hand of this Gator Brigade through an amazing season. And I have said it before, and I'm perfectly willing to say it again. And they're getting after Steve and the coaches down there with ice and things, but they got him.
I imagine Steve would go for that too much.
Danny Werfel is going to end his football season with 178.4 efficiency rating, and that is an all-time record.
An all-time record for a quarterback pass efficiency.
Yep.
Best ever.
Yep. We're in the process, obviously, of running out the clock in this ball game because the issue has been resolved some time ago. The Florida Gators, as the seconds will tick away, will win this championship, their 3rd successive 34-3. Steve Spurrier joins Paul Bryant as the only coaches to win 3 successive SEC titles.
Did you notice who Steve had next to him when he picked up? It was Ben Hanks, was one of the 2 that picked him up. I think there's something special there with Hanks and Spurrier.
Now let's check in with Lynn Swann.
Well, Keith, obviously you're receiving congratulations from coaches and friends from Arkansas. Steve, congratulations. A tremendous ball game by your ball club.
Swanee, I think we're sort of relieved and we're excited. We're happy. I've never had a ball game that meant so much to our university, to our team, and everything else. So we're thankful. God smiled on us. We had a lot of big plays that went our way tonight.
It's found that most people won't understand why this game isn't just a tremendous victory for you, but relief, because this was your first undefeated team for Florida ever coming into this championship game.
Well, not only that, but we had the whole season on the line. We lose this one, we're not even in a big bowl. We're in a little bowl somewhere, but now we get a chance to play Nebraska to see who's #1.
So it's safe to say that next game coming up was a little bit on people's minds.
Well, no, I don't think so. It's just so much emotion from last week and all year, and we had just enough, and the ball bounced our way tonight. Arkansas, Danny had his team ready to play. If they'd scored some touchdowns early, it could have gone down the wire.
What were some of the things you said to your team at halftime? Because it looked like you just weren't able to close the door on the Arkansas team in the first half.
Well, we sputtered a lot offensively, something we hadn't done all that much down inside the 20s. And we just wanted to keep on playing. And again, our emotion level was not as high as it usually is. We spent a lot this year, but fortunately we had enough. And Ben Hanks making the play there, it was meant to be for us.
The emotion level wasn't high, but there seemed to be a certain professionalism about this young ball club of yours, where the emotion may not be that high, but they just came out and did what they had to do to win.
Well, certainly we're ready to play. This is our conference championship, biggest game of the year for us. And we played well, no question about it, but the ball really bounced our way.
Steve, congratulations.
Thank you, Swanee.
We'll see you down the road. Keith?
All right, Swanee, we'll be back at the Georgia Dome in just a moment. Your final score, 34-3 Gators.
This is Danny Wuerffel, MVP of the SEC Championship. First of all, congratulations. You took charge of this offensive squad that didn't seem to be emotionally charged when you first came out.
Well, thanks. We're just glad to be here, and you know, some days some things click for you. Today, we're a little out of sync. They did a good job of holding the ball, and even though they weren't scoring, they held the ball pretty good for a while, but we hung in there. We stuck in there. God's blessed us all year, and we're very fortunate, and just give all the glory to God.
The offense took charge right away. You got into the touchdown. You looked like you could move at will. What was happening with the offensive unit that they didn't just capitalize on every opportunity?
Well, sometimes we just get in the flow and we get going, and they get a good job of mixing their blitzes with their man and their zone coverages, and sometimes we had some zone passes on against the blitz and vice versa, and we just didn't quite click. But overall, it was a solid performance. Defense came out with a huge play, and we're just excited to be here.
Well, I'll tell you, you had a great performance. You've now set the NCAA efficiency record. How do you feel about that?
That's exciting. I didn't know about that till just now. Just glad to be a part of that. It says a lot about the offensive line, the receivers, the running backs. We're glad to be here.
What do you say to your offensive line? You come out in the second half. You've been hit a number of times. As Keith said, your uniform started getting a little dirty. Suddenly, you come out in the second half, they start picking up that blitz for you.
Definitely. Well, it's tough on us when we got 5 receivers because they can bring more than you can block. And so that's not really the line's fault. They're getting in there a couple times, and we're trying to get the ball off, but they're doing a good job of blitzing, getting in there quick. So it really wasn't the line's fault. They did a great job all night. They picked up some blitzes for a couple of touchdowns. So just proud of those guys and proud to be a part of this team.
Any thoughts on the upcoming game against Nebraska?
Definitely. We're going to be excited to have that opportunity. What a game that is, but we'll cross that when we come to it.
All right, Danny, thank you. Congratulations.
And we add our congratulations to the Florida Gators, Coach Steve Spurrier, his staff, and all the players. They truly have had a remarkable season, and they have an opportunity to end it on an even more remarkable note. Your final score, 34-3, Florida beats Arkansas. Stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental postgame report featuring scores and highlights from around the country.
The Thrifty Car Rental postgame report, brought to you by Thrifty Car Rental, historically known for low rates. From the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, Georgia, your host, John Saunders.
Welcome back, everyone. Along with Terry Bowden, I'm John Saunders here for the Thrifty Car Rental postgame report. The Gators to their 3rd consecutive SEC championship, but this is the first one that they have as an undefeated team and a team with a chance to play for the national championship. For more celebration, back to the field and Lynn Swan.
This is Ben Hanks, and Ben, what a tremendous ball game you played. We anticipated with the way that Arkansas wanted to run the football, you'd be a key player, making a lot of stops. You had a tremendous game.
Well, thanks, Lynn. Coming into the game, we knew they like to run the ball weak. They mix it up with the option. They try to roll out and do a lot of different things, and I think the defensive coach did a great job as far as getting us ready as a defense. And I made a big play down on the goal line, which the D-line strung it out. I think the defensive line, they played great all year. And we came out this year, we told them we're going to put the D back in Florida, and as the season been going, we've been progressing and doing great.
Well, I'll tell you, he had 9 tackles, and that's a great game. But what people are going to remember is the fact that Ben Hanks came in trying to cover the outside man in the option, picks it off, and goes for the touchdown.
Well, I think that'd be a great memory, and I always remember it. And as in my college career ending, I think it's a great time that they came in my last year, my last chance to play in SEC, last SEC team I'm going to play. And it was a great memory. I thank God that it happened and allow me the chance to even come out tonight and perform.
Well, Ben, tell me exactly what you were thinking. You were out there. Did you see the quarterback going down and say to yourself, okay, if he tries to pitch it, I just want to step in? Or are you just trying to get in on the play?
Well, I had to pitch, man, and the defensive line, like I said, did a great job of screening it out, and they had him wrapped up, and he tried to make something happen by pinching it, and I broke on the ball, and it fell in my hand, and I ran about 97, 98 yards, and I wasn't going to let nobody catch me. I was looking at myself in the screen and just thinking so many things went through my mind at the time I was running, and I just thank the Lord for giving me the opportunity. I like to say hi to my hometown, Overtime. What up? Love you, Mom.
Okay, now, they talk about the fact that Spurrier had his number unretired so that you could wear it. What did that mean to you in your last year here?
Well, it means a lot, showing that Coach Spurrier respect me, and I always say it's a privilege and an honor to wear the number. I love Coach Spurrier. He's a great coach. He did so many things for me, and I just it's not so many ways I can explain how I feel about him, and I just love and share the opportunity he gave me to wear 11.
Your quick thoughts on playing Nebraska now?
Well, we got them on Fiesta Bowl January 2nd. We gonna beat us, so ain't not much I can say about it. But take this win, you know, get it out of our system, and get ready for Nebraska on January 2nd, man.
Ben, congratulations. Keep that master's degree working. Now let's go back up to John Sanders.
All right, thank you, Lynn.
Sanders.